For the Zoom project, this is some kind of hint. Okay? First of all, you have to make a two graphics view, and of course, we don't need any lines. And uh, let's say the given function is x squared, but you can choose anything. Okay, and we need a point which is moving on this graph. So point over there. So later we are going to move this point, and we want to construct kind of a square boundary around it, and which shows here as a magnified way. Okay, so it's a zooming in style. But to show like how much zooming in is going to be controlled by the slider. So we need a slider, and at this moment the name of the slider can be anything. So I just put h because it's a height or whatever. A key point here is, as you can see in the GeoGebra file that any apps in the course Blackboard, the minimum is not 0 because we still need some square around there, right? So it should be 0.001. Okay, if we really want to zooming into, and go up to maybe 1. Okay? And the increment, it's up to you, but I put 001. Okay, and of course the slider I put vertically, right? Okay? So animation, if you want, maybe oscillating or whatever. Okay, so like that. So it should be enough over there. Then the first thing is we want to make a square around it, and it depending on this h value, right? So if h is really the size of that box around here. So when you see that h is actually how far you have to go to the left or right, something like that. So just imagine there is a square around it, and the length of the bottom or height is double of h, right? That's how you can go to minus h or plus h like this. So key point is we need 4 vertices, okay, of that square, and each vertex, the x coordinates and y coordinates is one less, h less or h more from the coordinates of this point on the graph, right? So whenever you're moving around this point, your square must be also moving around together, right? So our square, the vertex especially, is going to be dependent to the position of that point, which is A, right? Okay, so let me just choose the first vertex, then you can see how you're going to do the remaining ones, right? So first of all, how about left bottom corner? Then it's h less for the y coordinates and h less for the x coordinates. So that point is going to be x coordinates of a minus h. Okay, so you have to go that much. And y coordinates is y coordinates of a minus h. Can you see that? We produce this one. So hit enter and do the same way. And at this moment, when you're moving up, can you see that this point is closer and far away, right? Depending on this h value, right? So that's how you can manage that square. Okay? So the next one is same thing. So when you use this one up and down, you can use the previously defined ones over here. Then going down is same, y coordinates minus, but x coordinates plus. Can you see that? And how about going up is also plus. That's the one. And finally, subtracting h for x coordinates. That's how we get, right? So that's our okay. Change the color and everything, but key point here is when you're moving around, you can change that, right? Okay. And of course, we don't want to show these vertices, right? So hide them. Okay, so you can see that. Now, this is easy part, and you can also moving around depending on the shape of your graph, right? So you can just manage the place. Key point is this right-hand side. Okay, whenever you move that points, there is corresponding point is also moved. Okay, like that. But now be careful. I think this point is for that one, right? We don't need it, so that should be only on the graphic view 1 only, right? So for point B, go to advanced. Okay, I think it's only one. So how about A? Yeah, B, C. Can you see that C is over there, right? So we only want that here. And D, E. Okay, so we don't have anything over there. But how about this point? Because we want to have that point over there too, right? So for that one, for A, we want place it at graphic view 1 and graphic view 2. Okay? It doesn't matter whether you select it or not for 3D graphics. Okay? But anyway, after do that, we have those points over there. So when you move these points, you can see the exact same movements over there. Okay? Now the key point is when you look at the course Blackboard, actually whenever you're moving around, the domain of this window is actually changed according to that, and it looks like there is a trace of this square over here too, right? And that trace looks like it's not changing. Actually the dimension is changing, right? The unit size is changing here. So the square, the image of that square on the graphic 2 looks like it's stayed there, right? So the key point is the minimum and maximum x domains are changing according to that. So please check here. It looks like it has actually 1.5 ratio, okay, from the point to that side of x and y all together. Okay. So when you right click on this window view and go to graphics, then when you look at one of the choices, x-axis and y-axis, okay, and the grid. But instead, when you go up, if you select this graphics, okay, and that's graphics 2, right? So graphics and graphics 2. So right now we want to just handling graphics 2 dimension. So select graphics 2 and click basic, then it comes with those minimum maximum values of x and y, which is fixed. So right now, let's say x minimum value is negative 3.6, which is around here, right? So when you change it like that, it's around negative 3, then that one changed to negative 3 point something like that, right? So you know it's changing according to that. Now remember this, in GeoGebra, for any input field, you can put not only numeric, but just letters, which is actually for numeric values. So in the hint, in the course Blackboard, for just before that project Zoom, you see the corner 1, corner 2, all that kind of stuff, right? So in here, for example, for this one, must be like around that much, right? Like that is size h, right? So we want to go to h.5. I mean 1.5 times h, right? To get some benefit. So that one, we want, that is the x minimum value. So in here, it's not really actual numeric value, but we want to have from the given x coordinates of the point, okay, x of a, and we subtract how much? 1.5 of h, right? So 1.5 h. Let me hit enter, and it's keeping that information and see what happens here, right? So when I move this one to somewhere else, can you see what happens here? Okay. Especially if my point is around 1,1, then this portion, the h is kind of 1/3, but let me change to 1. Then actually the x minimum value of this window looks like a negative 0.5, which is 1.5 of h, right? So if you're going zooming in like that, right now the only kind of movable minimum maximum value in this window dimension is just that part, right? So if you change all the other condition for graphics view according to that, so maximum must be from x coordinates of a plus 1.5 times h, right? Then now whenever we're moving around, can you see that the x-axis is actually changing according to that. So if you do the same thing for y value, minimum and maximum of y coordinates, you will get the stuff like that. And after that, it looks like your point is always placed around center. So when you make this GeoGebra file, please make sure your window, especially for graphic 2, looks like a square shape, right? Because we are going to using square shapes around it. So it's going to be better. Just try to make it, okay? Looks like that. And I think this is enough. And of course, we want to show this graph on both sides. So after you select that function and go to advanced, and at the bottom, you just choose graphics and graphics 2 together, then your graph shows on both, okay? So you can see it's changing, okay? That. So I think that is good enough for the hint of that Zoom project.